Come on.
Left my earrings.
We're just having a conversation. Hi, 925.
From working on the historic Women's March to co-founding Until Freedom, this social justice leader and native New Yorker has been on the front lines for change since she was a child.
That's right. She served as the youngest ever executive director of the National Action Network. Her speech, State of Emergency, following George Floyd's death, went viral. And she's now sharing these moments of her life in her memoir. It's called I Lived to Tell the Story. So please welcome back Tamika D, Mallory, and congratulations on the new book. Good to have you here.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I Lived to Tell the Story is a memoir, and this is really your second book here. So I guess I'm always curious what prompts people to write the memoir. Because you think memoir is going to come much later in life.
Yeah, I thought so as well. When I signed my book deal, I signed a 2-book deal, and we didn't know what the second one would be. But I wrote an outline to just sort of figure out if a memoir was possible. Some other folks, they believed that I could write one, that I had a story that was full enough at 44 years old, or at the time 43. And after I finished the outline, there was at least 800 pages of content that could have come from that outline. And so I knew it was time. You know, I think that my story up till this point is strong enough that it certainly can inspire someone else. And I didn't want to wait until I was elderly, because I think there'll be another story to tell at that point. And so we got it done.
Good.
And here it is.
I want to know, because you've been involved in activism since you were a child. So what was your parents' role in that? How did they cultivate that?
I always tell people my parents are super black. This Black History Month is only a short period of time for my family. Black History Month is all year long. It's 365 days. That's how I was raised. My parents have been in every black empowerment space in New York and sometimes in other places around the country, and they raised us that way. A lot of people, church is where you go every Sunday and you have to go. You know, your parents, they say, we're getting up, we're going on Sunday. And we did go to church, but Saturdays was even more important, which was that we would be in the community. And so that's been my whole life. This is like something that's been born in me. And even when I've tried to run from it and tried to say, I'm going to go into a different career, I think it's been my calling, and it has continuously brought me back.
So I get that you did it as a family, and they sort of instilled, like, hey, when we do this, we're doing this.
That's it.
But sometimes kids are shy. It's hard to stand up. Did they do something, instill something in you that said it's okay for you to use your voice?
I think it's personal tragedy. I lost my son's father when my son was 2. He's now 25. So for 23 years, I've been raising my son. His father's story is very tragic. We don't have the time to talk about it today, but I do outline it in the book. And I think, I woke up one day and was like, oh, this is not my parents' movement. This is all of our movement. Like, it's my turn. It's my time. And I decided that the issue of gun violence in America was not being addressed at the level that it should, especially as one of the most dangerous killers of young black men. And so I immersed myself in this fight, along with my sister, Erica Ford, who you all have had on, and A.T. Mitchell. They are anti-violence and gun violence reduction gurus. And I partnered with them, and we started to do a lot of work. And here in the city of New York, we started out several years ago with about $5 million after our advocacy that would be distributed to grassroots groups around the city to do violence prevention and intervention. And now the program is over $100 million, where you have groups across the city actually reducing violence, and the data shows that when you have people who have actually experienced this type of trauma, they are best to go out and do the work.
You've been involved in so much with social movements and protests and organizing and energizing some folks on the ground, right? But with that comes so much, with misconceptions of what exactly the movement is and support. And sometimes you learned, and you write about it, right? The lack of support that comes with it, but not backing down and still standing up. So I guess addressing 2 things here. One, how do you do it when there are folks who are going to have the misconceptions? And then how do you get up the next day when you realize you may have lost some support?
Yeah, well, you know what? When I was younger, and it's in the book, it really hurt a lot, you know, because you want people to get it and you're trying to do the right thing. But as I've gotten older, I understand that not everyone's going to be on the same page. Our job is to organize with the people who want to, and we try to bring people along. Many times we meet people who say, you know what, I wasn't into this social justice stuff, and now I understand what you're trying to do, and I want to be involved. The only thing I try to tell people is don't wait until tragedy strikes you to get involved beforehand, because I meet a lot of families who, when I meet them, they have had the worst experience. Their child or loved one is gone from whatever, whether it's gun violence or police violence or something of that nature. And they always say, you know, I was never involved in a movement, and now I'm here.
I guess when you look at it from the bigger picture too, right? There's a great changes you made here in New York with some of the money that's being raised too for the good cause. But gun violence is still so far and away on the national scale, and some folks feel like it's just a lost cause, right? So how do you keep the energy to keep going when there haven't been changes along the way on the national level?
We absolutely need federal laws that help to undergird the work that is being done locally, right? We need to see that there would be a Congress in place, both sides of the aisle, that would focus on gun violence and pass comprehensive laws to protect Americans, to protect students in schools, to protect us in grocery stores. We need that. However, the local work cannot stop. The local communities have done incredible work to address the issues, and we have to continue to focus there until we find a bipartisan group of individuals who are courageous enough to stand up against the gun lobby and do what is necessary to protect American citizens.
We're running out of time, but I know you're going on tour, right?
Oh, yeah, I'm on tour. I've been doing it already for a few days.
Where can people find the dates if they want to get involved?
You can go to TamikaDMallory.com/tour.
Good stuff.
Thank you.
Great to have you. Come on back, okay?
So much.
Come on back.
Yeah, for sure.
We got a lot more to talk about, all right? Her memoir, I Live to Tell the Story, available now at Barnes & Noble, independent bookstores, and wherever you buy books, right? As well. Absolutely.